And one. Good morning, Monday morning mamas. We are going to give this just a minute to reach our Facebook audience. But while that's going on, I want to say hello to all the replay viewers and ask you, if you are joining us on the replay, to give us some hearts and share this video with the moms that you know who need some Monday morning inspiration. Yes, hearts. Are you a mom who has the case of the Mondays? How about mornings in general? Do you proclaim that you are not a morning person? Maybe you are a morning mama and really want to stretch yourself and think about new things in the morning. If you said yes to any of that, then this show is for you. Welcome to Monday Morning Mama, where we bring you fresh and fun inspiration every Monday morning at 7 a.m. Central Time. It's so interesting, the path that this show has taken. We talked couple weeks ago, and then last week we talked about the vision that you have for your life, and that all seems so expansive and limitless. And then today, episode 9, we're going to kind of go the other direction, but not a new direction entirely by any means. And we're talking about boundaries. Exactly what are boundaries? Why are they important for you as a mom? And what can you do if you find out that you need to strengthen this area of your life? So I want to quickly welcome all of you that are joining us live right now. Please say hello down below so that we can interact with you. I am your hostess, Jessica Dugas, co-owner of Just Determined and the founding member of the Moms Online Mastermind community, where we help moms to reduce stress in their lives in a supportive and loving community. I want to introduce you to my guest today for the Monday Morning Mama show. Joining us from across the pond, I'm in Alabama, she's over in the UK. I love technology for this reason. This is my friend and fellow entrepreneur, Trisha Mitchell. She is an amazing healer and has and does so many I can't even describe Trisha. I love her so much. I love her to pieces. And I'm in her new community, the Happiness Mastermind, that has just been a great part of my day. I love it. So welcome, Trisha. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me, Jessica. I'm delighted to be here. And hello to anybody who's watching now and anybody catching the replay. Like Jessica said, I do a number of different modalities, and I'm a bit of a crazy wizard, so I like to mix and match and see what works and ditch what doesn't. So I'm really delighted to be here to be talking with you about boundaries, because they can really get us in a stitch sometimes. We can end up in a twist, you know. Yeah. Just as you were doing the show, I was thinking about, I will shut up so you can carry on. I was thinking about, as kids, you know, all the boundaries that we have set. And then as adults, you know, I listen to my siblings. I'm an honorary mum member. I don't have any children myself yet. And I've listened to the dialogue of so many people, including family members, who vow that they're not going to do it in the way that their mothers or their fathers did. We have all that in the background whilst we're trying to carve out our own way of rearing our children and honouring ourselves with boundaries for them and for ourselves.
Yes, there's so many things that come up for that, and that's kind of where I want to start this morning and ask you all to think about. And I want to say hi quickly to Giselle. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I want you to comment down below, what does that word boundary mean to you? What kind of things does that make you feel? And give me to 10, with 1 being never and 10 being no issues with boundaries at all. How good are you at setting boundaries for yourself? How easy is it for you to say yes and say no and welcome or refuse anything into your life that either fits or doesn't? So before, I want to quickly give the textbook definition, because you guys know that I love that. I'm a little bit of a homeschool mom in that way. And so boundary just means something that indicates bounds or limits. And some of the other words that come up are borderline, confines, horizon. I kind of me, I like to think of it in that way, horizon, like a boundary, but still limitless possibilities, still anything goes kind of thing. And I think that's me not liking boundaries very much, or not being good at them. So tell us, Trisha, what does boundaries mean for you? How good are you at creating those boundaries or breaking the boundaries for yourself? Tell us a little bit about your experience with that.
Okay. First of all, I'm going to put something out there that I'm going to hang, and if we want to come back to it later, we can. Whilst I was listening to you with your textbook definition of boundaries, the thing that came up for me was we have a boundary protecting our property.
Mm.
So it's about allowing people in and keeping people out. But also the language that we use and how it affects how we feel. If there is a dispute with your neighbor over a boundary, that can affect our biology. Mm. And one of the places where that can express itself, if you're a fan of traditional Chinese medicine and how emotions can be mapped out and linked to different organs in your body, it can express itself in your gallbladder. So it's really important when we're setting these boundaries to be clear about the message that is being communicated internally in our bodies. So for me, I like boundaries to be fluid. I'm also a bit of a rebel, a bit of a maverick, and I like to break boundaries and push boundaries in search of truth. So in that context, I see a boundary and I go, what would happen if I disregarded that or I overstepped the mark? With certain boundaries, when it comes to, say, chocolate, I have to should and shouldn't. And really, shouldn't aren't useful. It's either I will or I won't. There's no guilt that I want to attach as to whether I should do something or shouldn't. So the boundary that I set for myself, it depends on what the goal is or the outcome is. Is the outcome, 3 pounds and a bit more cellulite on my thighs? Or is it that, you know what, I deserve this and I'm going to enjoy it? Do I find it easy or hard? It depends how badly I want something. So if I am focused and determined, then the boundaries that I set around that goal is you can come with me, you can walk alongside me, but get in my way and you go on the other side of the boundary because this is between me and my goal. So it really does depend on which area of my life I am creating a fence around energetically, or literally if it's my home, how important it is to me and which people I want on which side of the fence. Do I want them in? Do I want them out? Do I want to give them an invitation to come in sometimes, and then other times I need my space and it's everybody else? It fluctuates and varies.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. I love you saying a fluid boundary, because I think so often we think of a boundary as like set in stone, like this is how it's going to be, and I think people get afraid to set boundaries because they're afraid there's no turning back after that. Like I can never, it's a wall. There's no gate there. It's just a wall. But I want to touch on really quick, you talked about guilt that we attach to boundaries. Oh, that this is the road that this was supposed to go down. The guilt, the mom guilt is so rampant. I mean, from the moment the kids are born, we question whether we should be doing anything for ourselves ever again. Shouldn't we be washing dishes right now? The baby's crying. We shouldn't be doing anything else. Like, we question ourselves all the time, and then we have this guilt no matter what we're doing. And then what happens? Then we're never freaking happy. We're never happy because it's always we should be doing something else.
Absolutely right. There's two things that pop up in relation to that. And again, I'll let them hang, and if we come back to them, we'll then too. One is that I work with people who have got limitations in their life, as many people do. And when we go back to the scenario that has created the belief, because in that moment they made a decision and it becomes a belief that runs through their life, It can be something as simple as, Mum didn't come to pick me up when I was crying. No guilt allowed on this interview or allowed to spill out as a result of this discussion. These are just observations, and it's always subjective. It's how that person has perceived that event. It's not the reality. But as children, our brains are still developing, and when children are dependent upon adults for their survival, to thrive, for their love, a lack of response to that one time when I was crying in my cot can be, I feel abandoned, I feel alone, I've got to fend for myself, and then they become introverted if they weren't before. So there are things like tapping, which is really, really useful. And I know, Jessica, you do this in your mastermind community as one of the tools that, help moms, And we all do the best that we can with the resources that we have at the time. So that's one thing that I wanted to raise. The other thing is, there's a famous person who used to be in a band. She split up with her family. And she was being interviewed about going on Strictly Come Dancing. And she said, it's great. I had to think long and hard about it because I spent so much of my time waiting for the boys. Her husband, who is a footballer, he's now retired, and he's a football pundit. And her boys, she spent all the time waiting for them to come back from football and cricket. And so what's happened is that she made this role of mum greater than herself as former pop star, as a woman in her own right. She'd lost her identity. And in giving her all for so long, that part of her was lacking. And so to redress that, she's ended up moving out of home. She is now on a dance tour. Husband is going to be spending time around the country on television, doing his football presenting. And what happens to the boys? Rather than having the balance, her boundaries could have been, I am mum, I am also mum, wife, I'm a woman in my own right, and I need to attend to all aspects of me so that I can give you what you all deserve and require from me. So perhaps if her boundaries about her notion of being wife and mother, if she'd set boundaries around that, then maybe these boys wouldn't be growing up now where both mum and dad are out of the house a lot, as well as this separation that they've never had. So I think that we need to do a lot of inner work and work out what we need for ourselves and what boundaries there are that need to go in place around those. And then as a family, what do we all need as individuals and as a unit? And then we can start to eliminate the guilt. Then we can start tapping out all the things that all your friends go, oh, well, I don't do this. I think you should do this. I think you should do that. Everybody's got an opinion. The best that you can do is what you're doing right now. And forgive yourself for any times when you have fallen short of the standards that you've set for yourself as a woman who should be doing this or shouldn't be doing that, as a mum, as a wife, as a sister, as a friend. Guilt has no purpose in my book other than to make you feel bad. And part of that is societal perceptions of what you should or shouldn't be doing. If you're in the supermarket and there's a baby on the floor having a tantrum, we kind of look at the baby, we kind of go, oh, that's embarrassing. We look at the mum and wonder how she is dealing with it, and I would or wouldn't do that. Even if your heart goes out and goes, oh God, yeah, I've been there. There's part of you going, I am glad, I'm so glad that that isn't me. And if that happened today, of all days when I've got the mother of all headaches, I would probably lose it.
Yeah.
You know, there is all that stuff going on. And at the end of the day, we are just trying to do the best that we can without a manual. You can read all the self-help books that you want, but nobody has observed you and got inside your head, got inside your body and felt your emotions all through your upbringing to then see how that is going to affect and determine the decisions that you make when you're rearing your children.
Yes, absolutely. And there are so many opinions about boundaries and what everybody should be doing, and I think that comes up a lot in motherhood as well. You know, every mother, every family has different boundaries for their children. You know, what's acceptable in our home, what's acceptable behavior wise, and so it can be really interesting looking in on the store, like you're talking about, when a child's having a tantrum and the things that you think, you know, about the situation, and kind of understanding. I think that's a big thing too, is understanding that we all have different, you know, needs, wants, expectations. We're all different human beings. And, you know, letting go of a lot of that expectation is important, that thinking that people are going to have the same boundaries as you, because they totally don't.
Exactly. And I think our boundaries are influenced by our values, and just thinking about that, you know, the behaviors within the home, outside of home. Don't forget, I don't want to make it political, but you've got societies, perceptions of whether it's all right for you to get your boob out, which was once a sexual object, and breastfeed and nurture in public. Mm-hmm. So it's debated in political arenas. The media's got something to say about you, you know, and oh, are you a stay-at-home mom? Or, oh, she didn't stay at home with her children, she went back to work. Everybody is going to have something to say about whether you did or did not do something. So the best thing that we can do is have self-compassion. Forgive those whose heads are so screwed up that they can't focus on their own lives, but instead they have to focus on yours and other people's, because that helps to elevate them and feel better. Don't have sympathy, just forgive them, because they're not doing the inner work that you may be doing. Right. They're not having the day that you're having. And I think if we spent as much time on our own lives as we do on other people's, when we're kind of going, oh, theirs is better than mine, or it's worse than mine, and they have that and I haven't, and they haven't got that while I have, I think our lives would be so much richer, just focusing on our own lot. Yeah. And just get as much of the conditioning that we have grown up with from well-meaning adults who were doing the best that they could at the time with the resources and knowledge that they had. And we're in a situation now where we can thrive and not just survive. And there are things that are passed down from one generation to another. And it's just like, you know, shake it all off, as Taylor Swift would say. Yeah, shake it off, shake it off. Well, one thing that I wanted to share with you is Ho'oponopono. And this is a practice of forgiveness. Very, very simple. It's the saying, and sometimes I get the word order, I'm not going to say the wrong way round. It's interchangeable. It's the intent. So, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. What's the fourth one? I've done it in a different order. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you.
I love that.
So, anytime that you want to release the energy out of a situation, or somebody's giving you a hard time. I never used to understand this when my trainers would say, it's not about you. Of course it's about me. It's directed about me and I'm feeling it. It's not about you. It's them projecting their own stories, their own narratives onto a situation that you just so happen to be playing a part in. So if you look at it in that sense, it's much easier to say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And that's based on us all being one. If you believe in oneness, then I have contributed to whatever is happening. We all have. So I'm forgiving that part of me, and I'm asking forgiveness for that part of me that has contributed in some way to that situation. But in forgiving others, we liberate ourselves.
Yes, I love that. And that really helps to, I think, keep those boundaries fluid, like you were talking about. You can set a firm, you know, boundary saying this is what I'm going to do, but then still allow that love and the gratitude and that emotion to cross over. It can be a fence with holes in it. It doesn't have to be a stone wall that never moves. But I want to switch gears just for a second and just ask you, is there any time that you feel like, you said yourself, you're a little bit of a maverick, you like to break boundaries a little bit. When would it be important to break those boundaries? How important do you think that is, on a woman's journey to push the boundaries a little bit or break through them?
For me personally, it's about integrity, values, and connecting with that innate intelligence, that intuition. If something doesn't feel right, there is something within you that's saying, hang on a minute. Something isn't congruent with who I am or who I want to become. So I would always advise to sit quietly. If you can get, just 1 minute, 60 seconds alone somewhere. Close your eyes, focusing on your breathing, and make sure that your breathing is balanced. So an equal count in and an equal count out. You might want to put your hands on your belly, and as you're inhaling, let your stomach expand. And as you're exhaling, allow your stomach to retract. Breathe in for a count of 4 and out for a count of 4. And then just ask, what do I need to know? What do I desire from this situation? What is in the best interests of everybody concerned? What's in my best interest? And allow that intuition to guide you as to what needs to happen with that boundary. It may well be that your kids are of an age where they want to go out to a party and there might be alcohol there, but you're not quite sure. I mean, over here we can start drinking alcohol at 18 unless they've changed the law. And I know over in the States, is it 21 as opposed to 21? Yeah. 21. So you might have an inkling, a feeling that I'm not too sure whether I should allow my child to go to this party. However, on the other hand, they need to learn how to become independent, and you've got that inner dialogue going on. Connect with your gut. Your gut intuition knows things that your head doesn't yet know. So if you've got a bit of a feeling going on, find that quiet space and start asking those questions. Connect with your heart. What is it that you desire? What is it that your child desires? And you may even, if we've got a couple of minutes, I can show you a very quick practice how you can connect heart to establish boundaries and also to communicate your concerns and that you want the best for your children. And it's not just about, you put all these rules in place, it's not fair and I'm not allowed to grow up. It's, this is my concerns as a mother for you, my child, whom I love dearly. Whilst I also want you to flourish, I also have some reservations through my own experience that things may not go as you think they may. Maybe better. So one of the things, would you like me to take you through that now?
Yeah, that would be great.
Great. So one of the things that we can do is connect heart to heart. And I don't know whether you've had one of those situations where you've just had this overwhelming sense that you need to contact home because something's going on. One very quick example was that years and years ago, before mobile phones, my sister was touring Europe and my dad had passed away. I was 12 at the time. And my family were getting on the radio and trying to get a message out to my sister as she was traveling from one campsite to another to say, look, you need to get home. Somehow she felt that. Eventually she went home and she said, I have just had this feeling that won't leave me alone, that I needed to contact home. And we managed to get back. She managed to get back before my dad's funeral, so she was able to attend. The heart is very powerful. The Heart Math Institute have measured the power and the range of it. So we can connect with people even when they are not present. Now, I'm just getting a little tingling sensation in my left nostril, which is, this is my feminine side when we're looking at traditional Chinese medicine and the belief that we have masculine and masculine and feminine energies flowing. And the nose is the sense that goes straight to the heart. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to just place one hand on your heart and ask to be shown that side of you that is your feminine side. energetically. And you might feel that that's on your left or on your right, but just ask your heart to show you. And then ask to connect with your loved ones or with that person who's testing your boundaries right now, or is in need of boundaries themselves, and allow that image of that person to come to mind. Now just place a pink light in your heart center. And just notice how that pink, warm, loving light starts to grow bigger and bigger in your chest, spreading throughout your chest beyond your hand, as it now expands, going forward, connecting with that loved one who needs you to communicate about the boundary that you wish to set or change or remove. Just notice how that pink light connects with their heart center, and their heart center opens up to you as yours is opened up to them. And allow that exchange of loving information, heartfelt communication, to be felt energetically and emotionally. What is it that you wish to convey in language, in feelings appropriate to your loved one about that situation? What is it that they wish to convey to you about that situation, about their need for flexibility, for more fluidity with that boundary, or their need for boundaries where there aren't any yet? Allow that loving exchange of what each of you need to flow back and forth. Allow that loving energy to be felt in each other's hearts. And notice the compromise or the decision that you are both coming to today about that area of your lives that require boundaries, setting, removing, or adjusting. Thank each other, heartfelt thanks, and then allow that pink beam of loving energy to slowly retract from your loved ones. Just notice how it's coming back into your heart center. In your own time, inhale, exhale. You can remove your hand and open your eyes. What was that?
I always love when you do that meditation because, and just the process of having that pink. As soon as I imagine that pink light now, my whole body gets warm and I feel like it radiating out. It's not just an internal thing, but it radiates out, and it's such a beautiful. Every time you do any kind of heart meditation, I'm so moved by the whole thing. I feel so much love and joy, and I think it's important to note for moms that you don't have to have any kind of special ability to do this heart-to-heart thing. You don't have to consider yourself an empath or intuitive or anything like that. This is for every mom. Every mom, you have the ability to connect to your child through your heart, and it's such a beautiful experience. And thank you so much, Trisha, for sharing that with the moms today.
My pleasure. My absolute pleasure.
All right, so now I want to close up the show this morning. Trisha, you have been one of my most fun guests. I love having you here, and I'm so excited that you're going to also be coming up on other shows in the future, and I'm really, really excited to connect with you about lots of topics. So there may be some of you who are saying, yes, I need some boundaries. Sign me up for that. And I invite you to join us inside the Moms Online Mastermind, where Trisha is an honorary mom. And we offer several different levels of membership, the first being completely free. And aside from helping you to reduce stress, I can also help you as moms learn more about your personal boundaries and really strengthen yourself in this area. So to find out more about the Moms Online Mastermind, you can visit us at www.momsonlinemastermind.club. Now, if you've listened today and you realize that you have some Facebook boundary problems and you want to see more happiness in your Facebook feed, you want to more healing, more loving, more anything other than some of the garbage we get in Facebook, I would invite you to connect with Trisha. Trisha has an amazing Facebook community. Can you tell everybody, Trisha, really quickly how they can connect with you?
Yeah, sure. This is the bit that I hadn't thought about. The Happiness Mastermind is the name of my group. It's small, it's a fledgling group, and there is anything and everything that goes on in that group. My ultimate aim for you is to help uplift you. Happiness and joy, and deal with anything that's getting in the way of that. So if you want to search the Happiness Mastermind, or have a look in Jessica's wonderful community, and Jessica can pop a link there if she feels it's appropriate.
Yes, I absolutely will do that. I will put the link down below for you guys as well once we are through today, and you can connect with me, you can connect with Trisha, and you can set some boundaries for negativity in your life. Invite in some more positive people, invite in something that's going to help you on your journey and your vision for your life moving forward, and not keep you surrounded by negativity. So definitely connect with Trisha, get plugged in Inside Mom and the Happiness Mastermind, and I think that you'll start to feel that tingly love feeling that I'm feeling right now when I work with Trisha. So
one final thing is, if you're finding it hard to verbally set boundaries or physically, do it energetically. So connect with that intuition. Get some wisdom about what's the easiest way that I can do it, because we always do things the hard way around, and then we go, God, if only I'd realised that this could be done as easy as that, I would have done it a long time ago. So use the wisdom that's within. And thank you so much, Jessica. I've had fun. It's been wonderful.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I've loved working with you, even outside the show, in your group, in my group, and one-on-one. It has been amazing. Pleasure getting to know you and having you in my life as well. You have so much to offer, and I just appreciate you so much. So thank you. Thank you all again for tuning in this week's episode of the Monday Morning Mama Show, where I come to you every Monday at 7 a.m. Central for inspiration for every mom. Join me next week, same time, same place, for our topic of being of service with my special guest and owner of Virtuous Boss Mamas, Kayla Nichols. So thank you again so much for being here, Trisha, and to all of you. And until next week, I am Jessica Dugas, reducing stress in the world, one mom at a time. Have a great day, everybody.